To get your own shutout tonight, Steven was really good on the mound. What did he kind of have working for him tonight?
Well, I mean, he had it all working for him tonight, but he was just spotting up well. That's the bottom line. And, man, when Steven competes and he's aggressive, he's pretty tough, you know. And what I liked is he's just a veteran tonight. He just acted like a veteran. He was composed with runners in scoring position. He was working ahead of guys all night. So, you know, when he's like that on the mound, he's pretty tough.
How do you get him to consistently have that competitive fire, you know, every time he goes out and be locked in like that?
Well, I think that's on him. I don't think we did anything special. I think it's just a maturation process with Steven. He's been here, I mean, this is his 4th season with us, and he was a starter from the very beginning. So he's had some great times, he's had some tough times, but you can tell he's just matured into a pitcher that's just very comfortable out there. He's not afraid of anything, and he just loves to get after people. So I just love the way he's competing at this point, and he's competing like a veteran.
And, you know, he was aggressive on the mound. You guys were also aggressive on the base pass, going from first to third on a bunt, you know, things like that. Is that the identity of this team going to be this year?
Well, I think we're going to do what our opponents allow us to do. We're not going to force anything. We're not just going to run for the sake of running or execute for the sake of executing. But we had a couple guys that are a little bit early in the season, so they're a little jumpy at the plate, so we might have done some executing early on that we might not do a little bit later in the season to get them going a little bit. But if you know, Notre Dame is a really good club, and they don't give you a whole lot to work with on the bases, so we're not just going to run for the sake of running. And there was a couple opportunities to take an extra bag, and we definitely will do that if someone gives us a window. We're going to take an extra bag.
And you guys are breaking in some new guys. You lost some veterans off of last year's team. How's the maturation process kind of going for those guys? Kind of getting their feet wet this weekend, first time out there. How are you seeing things progress from maybe the beginning of even the fall or the beginning of the spring?
Yeah, we brought a lot of new faces in, but we also returned a lot of veterans. And so it's been great to have. I can't say enough about the 2 freshmen we put up the middle. Those are some pretty marquee positions in college baseball to have 2 freshmen step in right away and play as well as they did the last 2 nights. Even with some of the mistakes that our shortstop John Cresto made last night, he's played phenomenal baseball for 2 days on both sides of the ball. But I think they're both successful because of the guys around him who have been in the program for 3 or 4 years. This is the first year that everybody on the roster was recruited by our staff, and we got a lot of guys that have been through some great times, some really tough times in the last 3 or 4 years. And I think their maturity is rubbing off on all the new guys, and I think that's why our freshmen are playing with such maturity.
Tell me a little bit about your kind of your scheduling plan. You played Vanderbilt on the road last year. This year you open up with Notre Dame. What's kind of the thought process going into opening with a marquee opponent like that?
Well, when we got here, it was not a very tough schedule. And we got off, when our coaching staff got here to Santa Clara, we got off to a really hot start, but we really weren't playing a very tough schedule, and it didn't prepare us for conference. So immediately we started scheduling the toughest schedule we could. And we decided even if we take our lumps early, and we threw a bunch of freshmen in there last year against TCU and Vanderbilt and K-State on the road, and you know, those guys are that much more mature for it. And opening up with Notre Dame at home it's a great opportunity. Tons of people in the stadium the last 2 nights, and it's a like institution, obviously a big name, but more importantly than that, it's a really well-coached club by a great coaching staff. And you know, to come out and play against a club and a staff as good as that, it's just invaluable for our guys getting ready for conference.
You guys were able to scrap across 2 runs. What did you? Notre Dame's reliever Mike Kern comes in. What was really good. This is actually the 11th month anniversary of his Tommy John surgery. What did you think of him coming in? Didn't look like he's that close to Tommy John at all to me.
No, he looked great. Very efficient with his pitches. He's around the plate. Our guys didn't look real comfortable up there against him. And we really got off to a good night offensively. We didn't obviously light up the scoreboard, but we were having quality at bat after quality at bat all night. And towards the end of his outing today, you could tell that our hitters were starting to show a little frustration, starting to get a little jumpy. So something we'll start working on tomorrow morning in batting practice. But until then, I was impressed with him. I just thought his command was good. I thought he was really competitive. I love seeing guys on the mound who just competing their tails off, and I really like the way their guys compete on the mound.